Hey everyone, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and it is Saturday, so I'm back with week 4 of the Horrormans Slashback challenge, and this week's theme is to review a classic slasher or something off the Video Nasties list. And Joe, this was an absolutely fantastic idea for a topic. I'm a big fan of the Video Nasties. It's a very interesting part of UK cinema history. The Video Nasties, I'm sure most of you know, but if not, the Video Nasties is a pretty comprehensive list of mostly horror films that were banned in the UK for one reason or another. Taking a look at the list, a few movies are still banned, but most are now available in the UK, whether it be cut or uncut versions. And I did notice that 88 Films and Arrow Video have released quite a few movies off that list, which is great. But a special mention does go to 88 Films because in terms of slashers from the Video Nasties list, they have released quite a lot of them fully uncut for the first time in the UK, which is awesome. So that's a quick rundown of what the Video Nasties is all about. And anyway, getting on to this review, I've decided to review 1978's The Toolbox Murders for a couple of reasons. One, this has pretty extensive history when it comes to being a Video Nasty. And two, I'd never seen this movie before, so great excuse to finally check this one out. So The Toolbox Murders got banned in the UK in 1982, and it wasn't until the year 2000 when Vipco released this in a cut version that it was available in the UK. The cut version was cut by close to 2 minutes, so obviously quite a lot of footage was cut. And then it wasn't until 2017 when 88 Films released this version fully uncut for the first time in the UK. So we're talking nearly 40 years after this movie initially got made that it was finally available in the UK fully uncut, so that's pretty crazy. Anyway, moving on to the storyline of The Toolbox Murders. This one has a pretty simple storyline. It centers around a psychotic deranged killer who's targeting residents at an apartment complex. There is a little bit more to the storyline, especially in the second half when it delves a little bit more into the killer, but I'm not going to spoil any of that. So that is a quick rundown of the story. Now we'll move on to what I thought about this film. Alrighty, so as I mentioned before, I'd never seen this movie before, and I've got to say I was really impressed. I thought this movie was fantastic, especially for a movie that's now just over 40 years old. I think it still holds up very well. It's still really effective, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one a lot. The first thing that I want to mention is the interesting way this movie plays out. So in a traditional slasher, or really any movie, really, it basically kind of builds up the storyline and characters first. But not in this one. This one, it's kind of the opposite. The movie basically starts out, and it starts out with a lot of kills right from the get-go pretty much. And then it's not to the second half when the storyline starts kicking in and more of the killer's motives start getting revealed. So that's pretty interesting in itself. Now I do quickly want to mention the kills obviously, and after watching this movie I can definitely see why this movie got banned. I think it got banned for way too long, but initially I can fully understand why this movie got banned, especially back in 1978. I could imagine this would be pretty shocking. The kills pretty much come thick and fast right from the start, which I really liked. There's quite a lot of kills at the beginning, and the killer uses a bunch of tools from the toolbox, hence the name of the movie. And again, I really liked that. Something that I don't really think any other slasher movie has really focused on. He used a bunch of different tools, so there was good variety in the kills. The kills were pretty graphic for the most part. They were all on screen, and they were pretty graphic, pretty nasty, and there was a lot of blood. So I was very impressed with the kills. As for the killer, I did like the killer. However, I did quickly want to mention you do pretty much find out who he is very early on, but that doesn't really take anything away from his character. and you kind of had to know who he was once the storyline starts unfolding anyway. But he was fantastic. There he is there on the cover. There's nothing too spectacular about his outfit. He's in a basic outfit and a ski mask, but his presence is extremely menacing, and he plays the character of a psychotic deranged killer extremely well. In fact, his character portrayal reminded me quite a lot of Joe Spinell's performance in Maniac. Yeah, very, very similar aspects to that. But I thought the killer was fantastic and played his character really, really well. The rest of the cast, especially the main cast, I thought were really, really good. The acting was pretty good. There were a few iffy characters and iffy acting when it came to some of the extras early on. But for the type of movie that it was in the time period this movie was made, I can kind of forgive that. But yeah, for the most part, all the characters were also really, really good. I will mention the soundtrack. The soundtrack definitely had a 70s kind of Italian giallo vibe to it, and I really, really liked that a lot. In fact, this movie had a lot of similarities to a giallo movie, especially in the second half of the film, where it almost played out like a whodunit detective crime thriller, and I could definitely see similarities to the giallo genre within this movie once the storyline started to kick in, and it worked really, really well. I enjoyed the storyline. It was pretty interesting, and I really enjoyed finding out more about the killer and I guess the twists that were involved with the killer, which I'm not going to spoil. And I thought the ending was really, really good. I loved the ending scene with the character walking across the car park. But yeah, overall, I thought this movie was absolutely phenomenal. And before I forget, I will mention the setting and the location in the apartment complex was awesome. I thought that was a absolutely fantastic and really perfect setting for a slasher film. So loved the apartment complex setting as well. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on 1978's The Toolbox Murders. First time watch, thoroughly enjoyed this one. I thought it was fantastic. So if you've never seen this one, obviously I definitely highly, highly recommend it. If you've seen this movie, definitely let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. And also I'm wanting to give a little bit of a mention to this Blu-ray release from 88 Films. It's a 4K remaster and the transfer looks really, really good. And as I said, the movie's uncut, so I definitely highly recommend this release. Anyway guys, that's it for this review of 1978's The Toolbox Murders. Until next week when I'm back with another slasher review, I hope you've enjoyed this one and thank you for watching.